Obi-Wan's bold greeting to General Grievous in Revenge of the Sith is a favorite moment for many Star Wars fans.
Hello there.
And before we begin, I'd just like to share how amazing the Italian version of this scene is.
Salve a tutti.
Generale Kenobi! Sei un bell'impudente! Uccidetelo!
Anyway, for a long time, I figured Obi-Wan's entrance was just meant to be lighthearted, to convey the fact that a Jedi Master really has no fear of simple battle droids. However, when researching my video about clone armor phases, I did a read-through of issue 130 of the Star Wars Insider magazine, and lo and behold, the issue sports an entire 2-page spread about 2 words, hello there. So let's dig in. The use of hello there was meant to echo the first words we hear Obi-Wan say in A New Hope.
Hello there.
As a way to bridge the gap between the prequel and original trilogies. Now, I always assumed that may have been the case, but the words are fairly generic, so it's also easy to write off as a coincidence. However, this article not only straight up confirms it, but includes a quote from the maker himself, George Lucas, which originally appeared on the Revenge of the Sith audio commentary. Here's the exact quote. Now this, when he jumps down into the room and says hello there, is a direct appropriation of the line where Alec Guinness first comes into Star Wars and sees R2 and says hello there. So we wanted to do just one little tip to where we were going with the character, and to Sir Alec Guinness. To be honest, without context, that's a little silly. Simply saying hello there doesn't really drive to the depths of one's personality or character. However, the importance in this sequence is more than just the matched language. It was meant to convey a sort of humorous, at ease, confident attitude. The article explains that his cheerful greeting to Grievous, despite the immense danger, shows his sense of humor, as did his knowing smile as he Jedi mind tricked the stormtroopers in Mos Eisley. So again, it's about connecting the prequel era and original trilogy version of Obi-Wan Kenobi. However, it's more than even just that, and as I supposed earlier, the line was obviously meant to show the power of the Jedi in their prime. To that note, Revenge of the Sith animation director Rob Coleman stated the following, also during the DVD commentary. We get to see Obi-Wan just take down this huge number of droids, and he just dispatches them quickly, so we can see the more ruthless side of him, where he's kind of fed up with Grievous and all these droids. Ending the quote, I think it also shows that the droids really mean nothing to him. There's no conceivable way that they could harm him or pose a threat to the confident Jedi Master. And that's basically it. Obi-Wan is confident not only because he's got an entire legion of clone troopers ready to drop into the battle, but because he knows that the Force will guide him and that he can handle himself. Interestingly, the Revenge of the Sith novelization does take a slightly different approach where Obi-Wan has less confidence in his survival, but more just a belief and a trusting in the Force. And when the Force layered into his consciousness the awareness of the structure of the Great Hall itself, he became aware without surprise and without distress that the entire expanse of vaulted ceilings above his head was actually a storage hive filled with combat droids, which made him also aware, again without surprise and without distress, that he would also very likely die here. Contemplation of death brought only one sting of regret, and more than a bit of puzzlement. Until this very moment, he had never realized he had always expected, for no discernible reason, that when he died, Anakin would be with him. How curious, he thought, and then he turned his mind to business. Interestingly, that book doesn't actually have a hello there sequence, it just has Obi-Wan threatening Grievous with arrest. Of course, the Clone Wars adds a bit more context, with Grievous having said hello there to Obi-Wan in a prior encounter.
Hello there.
Notably, in that case, Grievous has the Jedi outnumbered, so Obi-Wan jumping down in Revenge of the Sith is sort of a reversal of that, but also a show of his confidence. Anyway, that's basically it. I know this was a bit of a shorter, less heavily analyzed video than you guys are used to, but I needed a break, and sometimes you just need to embrace the Star Wars prequel memes. For something a bit more meaty, consider checking out my breakdown of the legal frameworks surrounding the Separatist secession during the Clone Wars, or a comparison between the Venator and Imperial Star Destroyers. Today's question of the day comes from Inert Loki, who asks, why was the Katana fleet built during peacetime of the Republic? How was the fleet designed around the Ruusan reformations? That's a great question, and I'm really happy you asked it, as I meant to address it in the video, but I forgot. So, the Katana fleet being a thing sort of shows the incongruity between the pre-prequel EU and everything else that came afterwards, especially when it had to do with the Republic or the Clone Wars. When the Thrawn trilogy came out, there was no idea of the Republic being demilitarized, and as such, there's no good explanation for why the ships were created in the first place, especially because we know the Republic wanted a demilitarized force, and spending this much on a grand military project really doesn't fit in with the political climate of the time. That being said, I think the dreadnoughts themselves would actually fit within Ruusan perimeters. Anyway, that's all for today. If you guys have a question, make sure to leave it down below with the hashtag AskEck. Until next time, guys, this has been EckhartsLadder. May the Force be with you.